gonna pivot like this. So let me know in the YouTube comments, because I should be able to see in the comments on YouTube, if you can even do that. Let me know that you can hear me so that we can kick things off. What I might do here is set up a little chat room for us so that we can get that going. In fact, let me look at opening Chatango, and I'll get it to you guys so that I can see the chat boxes for everybody. Okie doke. So here's what we're gonna do. I've set up a link over at Chatango, which basically just allows us to chat with one another. So I'm just gonna get you a link here, maybe. Stand by 1 second. Oh, I'm flustered, everybody, and I'm embarrassed. So you know what? We can't get it on Chatango. So would you guys do me a favor? I'm embarrassed, but what can we do except move forward with this? I'm gonna do one more thing, and I am just going to create a new page for us on our website so that we can actually have a chat here, because I have so much that I have to go over with you guys of what is working right now. And I really want to be able to share some things that are working in our business. And I want to hear from you directly. So rather than me just talking to a screen, which we might have to do here. Tell you what, there's already 200 of you here. So let's go ahead and just jump in. I'm going to be all embarrassed and flustered, and I'm sorry, and I'm embarrassed. I am just going to turn my screen over so that you can see what I've prepared for you. And I'm going to sip a couple sips of scotch so you guys can, so that I relax a bit. Okay, so thank you for joining me and for dealing with our crazy technical difficulties tonight. But let's get moving. I have been doing a video series. I hope you guys have seen it. I hope you've really enjoyed it over on freedomfastlane.com. And we've basically been going through, what is it that big companies do differently? What is it that makes a truly breakthrough business? What is it that creates the, not just $1 million business, but a $50 million business or a $100 million business? So I wonder how many of you recognize this guy right here. He's holding my now 7-month-old daughter. His name, that guy's name is Robert Hershevek. He's one of the sharks on Shark Tank. And we had him at our live event just a couple of weeks ago, because I wanted to hear what made the difference. What made the difference between the businesses that really broke through and succeeded, and which ones failed, and what was the reason for that. So we brought him and he keynoted our event. We had a lot of fun. This is my 7-month-old. Her name is Esther. She's sleeping about 10 feet behind me right now in the next room. And what I'm going to do for you today is break down all the things that have made the biggest impacts in our businesses. So on tonight's class, you'll learn how to diversify your sales so that you're not dependent on just Amazon.com or any other traffic or sales channel. Meaning if you've got a primary sales channel, you're going to get independent of that. You will be able to be more secure than just what that will allow you to do. We're also going to go through how some, quote, Amazon businesses do $50 million a year or more. And I put that in quotes because they're not really Amazon businesses. Like they're not, we use that as a term. They take $50 million a year in sales, but they're not on Amazon specifically, but they're not Amazon businesses. And we'll go over why that is in a second. And they're also doing it by doing the exact opposite of what everybody else says you should do. We're gonna cover how to boost company valuation while simultaneously freeing up your time, meaning you'll have a more valuable company while also being able to spread yourself or spread the work across and get it off your plate so that you're not so stuck in your business. And we're gonna go through a bunch of case studies of what is working right now. Now, just to give you a bit of a quick update on my businesses, I used to do income reports every month where I showed what was working in our business. But I don't do that anymore just because it brought a little bit of scrutiny, more scrutiny than I would have liked. But I took this screenshot at 5:05 p.m. It's now 7:21 my time, so 2 hours ago. But as of 5:05 p.m. Today, we had done $12,000 in sales. If you can see it, I know it's a little bit small on YouTube here, but if you're able to see this number right down here, that's yesterday's sales. That's 831 units that we sold yesterday, which is $23,484.07. That might be a little bit high because we do some giveaways in our business in order to stay on top and to get reviews and to get new customers. So that might be a few $1,000s high. So if we round down to about $20,000, and then last week on the same day, that number is $20,185.13. So one of our businesses does, about $500,000 a month in sales. And then I have this other business that's more of a cash flow business. And this cash flow business does about $100,000 a month in sales. So that's, $600-some thousand a month in sales. About half of that is profits. Not necessarily to me because we have some employees and I have a partner and we advertise, but that's about $300,000 a month in business profit every month. I had a third business. It was called Zen Active. It was a yoga products company, but we sold that one. So we built that up to a certain level and then we sold the business. Now, what I want to know is who of you is currently selling on Amazon, or how many of you have considered or are familiar with the concept of the idea of an Amazon business or selling on Amazon as a profit stream. Those of you who have heard of this or who are currently selling on Amazon, I'm speaking directly to you tonight, who are either currently taken orders or you've thought about this as a process before. I don't really want to go into any benefits. I don't really want to target, why you should do this. I'm not really out to convince anybody that this is a good business model or an okay business model. I don't really care to convince anybody that it's a good thing. I'm just talking to those of you who are currently selling on Amazon or at least familiar with the concept of selling on Amazon. As you know, about 5 years ago, Amazon released this program called Amazon FBA, which allows you to sell all of your products without seeing them or touching them or storing them, managing payments or taking orders, or really doing any marketing. And the result of this was all of a sudden all these new businesses got to start up. And there were a lot of internet entrepreneurs who got in thanks to a program called Amazing Selling Machine, which was a fantastic program that taught people, why this was a good business model and basically how to get it started. And that, a lot of people joined that a few years ago. And now there's a whole bunch of programs that teach people how to do this. And there's been oodles and oodles of self-made millionaires that have come out of that in the last few years. There's a major problem with that. And if you sell on Amazon, or you've kind of looked at the numbers of markets, or looked into certain things that you can do, you've seen some of these problems. And if you sell on Amazon regularly, you see these things start to come up. And you might have heard me talk about the consolidation before, which we'll talk about here in a second. But since there's been this big surge of Amazon sellers, the result is lots and lots of competition. People are flooding into the marketplace, and everybody's doing it the same way. I'm sure you've seen this, where everyone is doing it the same way. And there's lots and lots of businesses that see some success, they start taking some sales, but then they plateau because they're completely reliant on Amazon.com. I mean, they're just completely reliant on Amazon to send them all of their orders. And worst of all, the good products get lost. Meaning you could have a perfectly good product, put it up on Amazon, and never be found because there's just all this competition going on. So Amazon is awesome. I'm not here to convince you for or against Amazon. I do hundreds of thousands a month on Amazon. I'm not here to convince you one way or the other. I'm just saying it's freaking awesome when you're starting out. But a lot of people stop there, and they think that it's the end all and be all, and that's not the case. So we've had what I call the consolidation in the last few years, which is basically the concept of there's been this surge of Amazon sellers, which has made for price wars, where you have all this price, people are playing this price game where profit margins are going down and down and down and down and down. And now we've got this scrambling for the same blood that's coming from one place. And it's an easy thing to game. So there's winners who really are just sometimes cheaters who use fake reviews or black hat methods. And look, plenty of good, legitimate sellers do perfectly fine. I am proud to say I have never cheated or gamed the system, except in ethical ways, which we can talk about. But there are unethical people who like to game the system or use black hat methods. And there's also it's just way too easy to copy what is successful, look at products that are doing well, copy them, and then throw them up. So I'll just show you an example here. This is a common product that people sell called the essential oil diffuser. And an essential oil diffuser is something you can get fairly cheaply and sell on Amazon. But do you see how all the products are pretty much the same, except for this guy right here, who doesn't have a lot of reviews, and I didn't check how many sales he was doing. But do you see how all these products look pretty similar? They're priced almost exactly the same, $25.99, $25.99, $25.99, $25.99. This one's $29.99. And if you look at this and you want to get into this market, you're like, well, shoot, there's all of these reviews. How am I going to break into this market? You can't, because everybody's doing exactly the same thing, and everybody is scrambling for the scraps. Now, it gets worse because those who are being successful on Amazon tend to have all of their eggs in one basket, which means that they can shut you off at just about any moment. And that creates kind of a panic of sorts. And there's this kind of fear that Amazon has you by the rear, and there ain't nothing you can do about it because all of your eggs are in Amazon's basket, which can be a really stressful place to be. Also, there's new cheaters and competitors always entering the marketplace, and there's a lot of people teaching the exact same way of doing things. So we have new entrepreneurs working more and more and spending more hours at their computers, and this, quote, hands-off business actually becomes very, very hands-on. There's also, with all these new competitors just flooding the market over and over and over again, you have profit margins being driven down. You have would-be entrepreneurs, not seeing that there's any opportunity in the marketplace. So they start, they are turned away from markets that they normally would get into, Or even worse, they order a bunch of inventory and then they leave with their tail between their legs because there's just supposedly no money in there. Now, I love Amazon.com. I take a whole bunch of sales on Amazon.com. But if I'm reliant on it for my business, if I am trying to do it like everybody else, if I am going out there and selling the exact same products as everyone else is doing, like every course out there is teaching, and look, I love these guys who have taught Amazon because it's created more entrepreneurs. I think the biggest problem in the world is that we don't have enough entrepreneurs. I think entrepreneurs can solve the world's greatest problems. I think that they're a much better source of solutions than government. I think that pretty much every problem in the world can be solved by entrepreneurs. So I am in favor of anything that gets more entrepreneurs into the game. But as it looks right now, you've heard me talk about consolidations. You've heard me talk about all this increased competition. It makes people wonder, like, is there anything to do here? So I'd like to ask the question of what you've done. Like, what have you done to this point to try to remedy this? What have you done up to this point? And some people resort to cheating. Some people resort to giving up. Some people just spend more money, or they get rid of a business, start another business. And the reason is because they don't see money or potential in a business when normally they'd be able to. So let me ask you something. What if you did not have to compete with a bunch of people? What if there was actually no competition? What if your profit margins were at the top end of the market rather than the bottom of the market? Meaning you were able to charge the most amount of money in your business, whether it was on Amazon or someplace else, rather than having these price wars compete for however little they can charge. What if customers and consumers chose you no matter what your competitors did or what your prices were? What if they came after you? What if they found you? And finally, what if you had customers looking for you, finding you, no matter what was, where your Amazon listing was or where your products were listed? This says no matter, there we go. No matter what was on your Amazon listing, meaning no matter how many reviews you had, no matter what your prices were on Amazon, no matter what your copy was, what if you had customers searching for you and finding you and picking you, regardless of if you had a good Amazon listing, a bad one, or if you had one at all? And we're going to go into a bunch of solutions that fit all of these criteria so you can kind of swipe some of their strategies. Now, I call a business that meets this criteria, that has no need, like they stand out from all of their competitors. They are charging the most in their market. They're not settling for the scraps. They're going for the high end of the market. They have customers who are choosing them rather than them kind of fighting. They have people coming to them, finding them. And no matter what's going on Amazon or any other channel, they're profiting above everybody else. That's what I call a breakthrough business. And a breakthrough business looks like this. It has rabid customers that want to buy from them no matter where they are. They maintain high profit margins regardless of what their competitors are doing or what niche they are in. They're able to get customers from multiple places so that no one can ever turn them off or put them out of business. And they're able to grow through word of mouth and strategic advertising, a combination of both. So the company's always growing no matter what's going on. So a breakthrough business is one that's not dependent on one channel. They're able to target a much wider group of people. They're able to charge higher prices. They're able to get customers from multiple different places, and nobody can turn them off. So they're a much more stable, secure business. So here's what it looks like in 30 seconds. A breakthrough business has the ability to leverage a primary sales channel like Amazon.com to build raving customers, and then use its positioning to get customers into new channels where no one else is looking. That was really technical sounding, so let me break this down. A breakthrough business starts in one place, builds a rabid customer base there, and then uses that as positioning to get their new customers in new channels where there is no competition, where nobody is trying to compete with them. And we'll go through what that looks like. So you can Google this, but I'm curious, before you go and Google it, does anybody know what Peter Drucker's 2 functions of business are? Peter Drucker is a famous management guru, and he has 2 functions of business. Those functions of business are get customers and keep customers. That's what the functions of business are. Business is a lot simpler when we boil it down to that. Well, here's another trivia question for you. When you sell on Amazon.com, which function of business are you following? Answer is neither. You're not getting any customers. You're borrowing, you're renting Amazon's customers. And you're sending customers to Amazon. When you take a sale on Amazon, you're not building a customer base. You're just taking sales, and that's a much different thing. Now, how many times have we heard it's easier to keep a customer than it is to get a customer? We've heard that 1,000 times, right? Well, when we just have sales on Amazon, there's no way to develop a customer base. We're just dependent on whatever sales come from Amazon. So what is different about a breakthrough business? Well, a breakthrough business, if we were to break this down into one phase, a breakthrough business, in my opinion, would start on Amazon, get sales on Amazon, build that up as a channel, and then leverage what's been working there to go to different audiences where nobody else is looking. Leverage the success on Amazon and then leverage that to go somewhere else. And we'll go through what that looks like, because really what I want you to understand in this class is I want you to see how much opportunity you're sitting on and you don't even know it. I mean that sincerely, because, for example, we just got into some retail stores recently with our physical products brands. And one of the reasons we were able to make retail work was because we've got a really solid presence on Amazon. We are taking sales through e-commerce stores now. But the reason we were able to take so many sales on our retail store, on our e-commerce store, was because we have such a strong positioning on Amazon. We now have YouTube audiences and email lists and all these different places that we can hit that came from the sales that we were taking on Amazon. So we start with Amazon and then we pivot and we go do something much bigger. Whereas most people start on Amazon and they stop on Amazon. And that's the end of the conversation. And they never really get free as a result, because they are beating their head against the wall with all the problems that we talked about up until this point. Now check this out. There's a recent survey on webretailer.com that showed some interesting stats about Amazon sellers. In 2016, they found that 50% of people, Amazon sellers, sold some private label products, meaning half the people just drop ship essentially and half are their own business. 77% sell on multiple sales channels. Now get this, look at this. 61% fear of being banned. They fear of Amazon kicking them off. That's interesting. Well, what if we could fix that? What if we could do something about that? Now, here's a more interesting data. And this is what I really want you to catch. On Amazon, in a 2014 survey, it showed that 2.1% of sellers said that they sold between $10 million and $100 million across all online marketplaces. In 2015, they asked for just sales on Amazon. They didn't think that anybody would cross $100 million, but they were wrong. They found that 0.6% of Amazon sellers sell more than $50 million each year. And that half of those, meaning 3 out of 1,000 sellers, found that they sell $100 million a year on Amazon alone. That's amazing. Now, what do they do differently? What's different about these businesses? I'm going to tell you. Here's a big tip. This is a writer downer. Everything comes down to your audience. Everything comes down to your audience. All the fresh blood that people are searching for, all of the new sales that people are looking for are coming from audiences. The really big companies that are selling tens of millions of dollars are building audiences. And this is really important. The businesses that are just starting out, but doing really well, charging higher prices, getting independent of Amazon right away, are all being built around audiences. I will show you some examples as we go through. Now, when I talk about leveraging Amazon to get into other channels, what does that look like? Well, here are some. One is your own customers. For example, we do lots and lots. In fact, I would say the reason we've been so successful, the reason why we do 600,000 a month versus, a year ago we did about 100,000 a month. The big thing we did differently was we started building our own customer base as a channel, meaning we started marketing to our existing customers. And there are cool and ethical ways to do that. The next piece is social media and your own website, meaning building up a social media presence and sending them to your own website or to an Amazon listing. We'll look at examples of both. There's retail, as big as Walmart or as little as mom and pop shops. We've had conversations with both. There's Kickstarter. Most people don't think of that as a source of sales. Totally 100% is, and most people miss it. There's email marketing, and I don't just mean using your own list. I'm going to show you an example of a buddy of mine who's using it as his only channel. All he's doing is using email. In fact, now that I'm talking about it, I can think of another example I wish I'd put into this presentation. I have another buddy who just built up his own list and sends that list to his Amazon listing. And that's where all his sales come from, just email marketing. There's YouTube. We have had conversations this week with some guys who have huge YouTube audiences. They don't know a darn thing about Amazon, but they're doing gobs and gobs of money and sales because they get YouTube right. And we'll look at one example on this class. And there's blogs. Now, what do all these things have in common? They're your own audience. So what most people think as they've been seeing my success or they've been seeing the success of other Amazon sellers is they think that the conversation begins and ends on Amazon, whereas in reality, the breakthrough business starts on Amazon, proves a concept, and then pivots into these other channels. Because there are entire businesses being built around just these channels. There's entire businesses being built around social media. There's entire business being built around retail, around Kickstarter, YouTube, blogging. But zero Amazon sellers do this well. They all just start on Amazon and stop. I'm telling you that if you've proven a concept on Amazon, or if you have a product that will win on Amazon, if you want to start a product, you want to start a business, start it on Amazon, and then you can use all these other channels to really ramp things up and have a really valuable company. Because if you do that, then you have a business that can be sold. You have a business that has leverage to really do something very special. So I'm going to go through a bunch of examples here of each one of these channels. So again, to recap up into this point, whether you have a business or you're looking to start one, the formula is to start it where all the buyers already are, and that's Amazon. And then as soon as you have that proven, to pivot over to these other channels. And these are the channels we've either used or are starting to use because there's a lot of profit there. So let's take a look at some examples. I call it this the JLD Kickstarter because this was run by my buddy John Lee Dumas. He was actually just on the Freedom Fastlane podcast. His handsome graphic is right here. John Lee Dumas, JLD, he doesn't know anything about Amazon. He's not on Amazon. And his product, his physical product, was a journal. Huh? There's no money. There's no money in journals, right? I mean, it's a book, a physical book. He probably makes a few bucks profit. I don't know. I didn't ask him how much he makes. But this ain't like a hot niche on Amazon. This ain't a hot niche in anything. He built the thing from scratch. But what did he have going for him? Well, he's a podcaster. He's got people who listen to his podcast. And as a result, there's people on his email list. So what that did is it allowed him to do a Kickstarter where within 30 days, he had $402,657 in sales from one product. Now, what's going to happen after the Kickstarter's gone? People are going to come back and tell their friends about it. They're going to use up the journal and come back and buy again. There's going to be a lot of press around this really successful Kickstarter. There's going to be all these people talking about it. He has launched a business, taken $400,000 in revenue in 30 days because he had an audience. Now he's got a list of people that he could go make Amazon reviews or buy other products. So do you need Amazon to launch a business? No. He built a product from scratch, put it on Kickstarter. Now, and he used his audience, which he had going for him. Now, you don't need to have an audience now to use something like this, and we'll talk about that in a second. John did, and this is recent. I took this screenshot hours ago. This is a live Kickstarter. You can go Google it, the Freedom Journal Kickstarter. You see it live in process because he had an audience. He sent them to a channel. He sent them to a place where he could take orders, and now he's going to have it spread like wildfire, and he'll take a lot more sales in future months. One of the cool benefits with this is if you've got an audience, you can launch and sell products that normally wouldn't be viable. How hard would it be to sell the Freedom Journal on Amazon? Pretty freaking hard. It would be really hard to do that because there's no internal demand for this product. But with an audience, you can sell products that wouldn't otherwise be viable on Amazon.com. This is my buddy Drew Canoli. He is one handsome man. Look at that haircut. And his beard is so perfect. And he's got blue eyes and he's fit and he's got a six-pack. I'm jealous and might have a crush on Drew Canoli. But this is a buddy of mine. He runs a YouTube channel and a blog called Fit Life TV. It's phenomenal content, passionate about making the world healthier, stand-up guy, awesome dude. And he takes sales primarily through his own website, selling a juice powder actually. So this is my buddy Drew's juice right here that I'm circling here in the bottom left. It's called Organifi. Phenomenal product. Took him a long time to develop, and they're on Amazon, but they don't really focus on Amazon. And we'll talk about that in a second. Now, if I know this is small, but if you can see this, you can see Organifi has 383 reviews. It's actually a lot less than I got on a call with Drew, and I was like, dude, you got to change some things up. I gave him some tips for getting more reviews and amping up his Amazon presence. But he had 383 reviews. Now, you know what? You can't see this on. Let's see if we move this up. No, you can't see this. Shoot. All right. Y'all should go Google this product and find its Amazon listing because it sells for $69. Now, take a look at all these competitors. Most of them have more reviews than him. This guy's got 1,200. This guy's got 300. This guy's got 700. This guy's got 300. So his reviews aren't really that much better or any better than some of his competitors, and his price certainly isn't. He's 4 times the price of some of his competitors. And he doesn't rank for any keywords. Sure is handsome though, isn't he? He doesn't even rank for any keywords. Amazon's not their business. So he doesn't rank for keywords. His review count's just okay. He's way more expensive than everybody else, but he does $200,000 a month with one product just on Amazon. He doesn't do any of the fancy Amazon marketing that some of us talk about. He doesn't care to rank for keywords. I don't even know if he does Amazon pay-per-click. So how does he do $200,000 a month with one product? He has an audience. He spent a long time building up an audience of people. So he doesn't need to do a lot of marketing. He just does his thing, looks cute on camera, and he sells millions of dollars worth of his juice powder. And that's not even his primary channel. His primary channel is through his own website. They do a lot better through their own website. Now here's another example. This is my favorite one because this guy's wearing a Cleveland Indians hat. But if any of you are familiar with the company Shreds, Shreds is a supplement company. Sell mostly fat burners and stuff that probably doesn't work. But Shreds has a huge Instagram following. You can see here they've got 1.8 million followers on Instagram. And they also have a bunch of celebrities or social media celebrities that represent their brand that have millions and millions and millions of followers. That's their primary channel is Instagram. And they then send that traffic over to their website. And they take orders that way. But they're on Amazon, but it's not their primary thing. So Shreds takes multi-million-dollar orders through its website. But how? Not by doing any fancy marketing, but by having a huge Instagram following, having an audience. Now, they have almost zero Amazon presence, but they still make over $1 million a year on Amazon. The majority of it comes off of Amazon, but they still do over $1 million. How? Just on Amazon? Because they've got an audience. They're marketing to an audience. This is my buddy George. There's another case study. My buddy George, this is his lovely wife, Michelle, one of my best friends here in Austin. George sells supplements and beauty products. He doesn't know a thing about Amazon. We get together for lunch sometimes. He's like, I don't know anything about Amazon. Can you help me with Amazon? I don't know anything about Amazon. Now, he's a multimillionaire. This is his process. George rents email lists. He goes out to people who have lists already. They have the audience, and he rents them. He pays them, a fee to email their list. He then drives them to ugly websites, and that's where he makes all of his money. Millions and millions of dollars a year. So couldn't you do that with your Amazon listing or your Amazon products? Or if you've got no product at all, would that not be a faster way to get a bunch of sales? So I just want to rant for a second, guys. So this guy used Kickstarter. This guy has YouTube videos and blogs. Shreds uses Instagram. George uses email. I don't see anybody using any of these sources for Amazon, except for me, I guess. We use them. But nobody that you ever hear talking about any of this stuff is talking about, what where all the action is in places where nobody is looking. And if you combine this stuff with Amazon, you freaking kill all of your competitors. Everybody who's trying to compete against you is they're not using this stuff. So you just freaking crush them by using these outsider traffic sources, which really aren't out. I mean, they're older than Amazon. Email is older than Amazon. YouTube is not older than Amazon, but it's 8 years old. And entire businesses are launched around these. You combine it with the power of Amazon, it's terrifying. This is one of my heroes. His name is Mark Sisson. Don't know why he's holding a magazine or a newspaper. What is that? What is that big piece of paper he's holding? He's like 109 years old, and he looks like he's 12. This is one of my heroes. I hope I look as good as Mark Sisson when I'm 62. I think he is. One of my favorite authors. Now, Mark sells supplements, and Mark doesn't have any fancy marketing. I don't know that he does any paid media. I don't think he has a presence at all on Amazon. He just runs a blog called marksdailyapple.com, and he's been blogging for years. And because he's been blogging for years, he has people who read his blog and they come to his store and they buy lots and lots and lots of supplements. So he doesn't know anything about Amazon.com. He's just built up an audience and he's selling things to those audiences. Are you seeing the point here? All right, let's look at one more example. This is a gal that I met at a conference last year. Her name is Mimi Icon. She and her husband, Alex, run this YouTube channel, which is mostly about hairstyles. She's kind of branched out a bit recently, but they have about 500,000 followers talking about, you know, design and beauty. And for a long time, it was just hairstyles. And she makes a few videos a week, maybe 2 videos a week. And she's talking about hairstyles and beauty. And she gets a whole lot of traction and they go viral and she gets tens of thousands of views. And she sells hair products like hair ties and other beauty items. They do zero marketing outside of their YouTube channel. They're not listed on Amazon at all. They just post YouTube videos and they send people over to their website on the products that they sell, and they do millions of dollars in hair products every year. What ties all these together? All of these examples are using audiences and going to where the audience is and launching products to them. Now, you're about to have a braingasm, so stick with me. If you're the 423 of you who stuck with me up to this point and dealt with our technical issues, thank you. You're about to have a braingasm when you see what I'm going to show you next. You don't need to do any of these. You don't. You don't have to be the guy on Kickstarter. You don't have to be the gal on YouTube. You don't have to be a blogger. You don't have to do email. You don't have to do Instagram. You don't need to do email list stuff. You don't need to build up your own social media presence. You don't need to have a YouTube following. You don't need to do blogging. You don't need to have your own website or anything like that. In time, you probably should. In time, it would be best if you had your own email list. It would be best if you did have millions of people following on social media. It would be best if you did have a YouTube following. It would be best if you did blog. That would all be best, because that's where you're going to be able to control your own fate. You're going to be able to control your own eyeballs. But in order to really blow up your business and have lots and lots of people buying your stuff, whether you're using Amazon or not, all you need to do is just go to the people who do have those audiences. Is just go to the people who have the audiences and make them the spokespeople for your business. For example, wouldn't it be nice if you could go to let's take the icon example. Wouldn't it be cool if you could go to Mimi here and you could say, hey, I'm launching a skin cream, and you're launching it on Amazon. You do the Amazon thing, you put it there, but you work with someone like Mimi and you give her an incentive to talk about your product on her channel. Same thing with a blogger, or if you did that with somebody who did email marketing. What if you could leverage those channels, send them to what you're doing on Amazon, and you get the best of both worlds? That is what none of your competitors are doing. And it's the fast lane to really blowing up one of these businesses. In fact, if you could start that, if you could build a business like this from the start, that's where you would really be best off. But if you were to just partner with people who had these audiences, you could really explode the business that you're building. So I want to give you some options. I want to give you some ideas of how you could, utilize and benefit from something like this. You can build products for people who have followings. Like you get the power here. I'm tripping over my word because I'm all excited now. But if you don't have a business yet, or if you know the marketing process of Amazon, but you don't yet, you're not selling millions of dollars of your own stuff yet, check this out. If you go to the people who already have the audience and you're like, hey, have you ever thought of launching your own physical products? And they go, no, tell me about that. And then you build the Amazon channel out of that. You leverage their audience. Whoo, boy. Huge, huge shortcut to building or growing one of these businesses. You can also recruit these people with audiences, the social media personalities, the bloggers, the emailers, to promote you, to work with talking about you. And you can do that through a variety of different options. You could rent the audiences, and that's just advertising. All advertising is just renting an audience, right? Or you can do what some people do, and you can hire the audiences. You can go to the people who have the audiences and hire them as sponsors. Get them on board to regularly talk about your product. Get them to be ambassadors of your product and your entire line of products in your business. That's how big brands are built. That's how $50 and $100 million companies leverage the fresh blood of all these different marketing channels, but bring it all back to Amazon.com. That's how they really break through. Forgive me for using my own term, but that's how they really do this. Now, I can show you how to do all of this. I can show you how to do all of this process to build your business or to put the business that you want to build into the fast lane by leveraging the power of Amazon, but combining it with all these areas of fresh blood. Now, here's why this matters. This matters because if you have a raving fan base that wants to buy from you, then nobody can mess with you. Amazon can never shut you off. They find you no matter where you are. That also allows you to just jump ahead of everybody else. You leapfrog everybody else. You leapfrog all of the people who are trying to get into this business because you've got an audience and they don't. You have the ability to get in front of all of these cold eyeballs, and they do not have that ability. You also become a price setter instead of a price taker. A price setter determines what the prices are in their market. Think of someone like Drew. Drew has the audience. He sells the greens powder. His product is better than his competitors. It's a great product. But he's charging 4 times everybody else is charging because he's a price setter because he's got the audience. People choose him. They go to Amazon to find Drew. And as a result, he ranks. He makes a lot of sales. And these are things that you can do either by building your own channel or by leveraging someone else's channel. Long term, and most importantly, what this really does is it increases your valuation as a company. Now, if you think about selling a company, think about it from the eyes of the buyer. The buyer wants to see multiple channels. They don't want to see that you're just stuck on Amazon.com. They want to see that you are leveraging your success there to do other things too. If you've got a customer list, if all you take away from this class is turn your sales into customers, like develop an internal process for turning your sales into customers, you immediately become a more valuable business because now you've got other people that you can promote lots of things to. You have an asset that you can build. A buyer wants to see that your product is working in other places. And by other places, that can be any of the things we looked at. It's working in retail, which we're still going to talk about. They're going to want to see that it's working on a website, that you've got affiliates, or that people on YouTube are talking about you. They want to see that you're not a one-trick pony. So right now, if you were to build a business and all you did was take orders on Amazon, your valuation, you're looking at about 2 years profit. If all you do is make some tweaks where you use some of the things we talked about here, your valuation can double because now there's inherent security for the end buyer. I've actually spoken with website buyers, or not website buyers, but business buyers who say that it can triple or quadruple the value of the business if you do these things. So, you know, I spoke with a mentor of mine. He told me that the richest people he knew were those that built a business and then sold the business. That was the key to millions and even billions of dollars in his network. Well, right now, if you were to build and sell a business the way that everybody else is doing it by leveraging Amazon, your valuation is pretty freaking low. But if you put in the tweaks that we've talked about and you start going after audiences, it can double, triple, quadruple. Now we're really talking. Now, I promise we talk about retail. We're in retail stores. We take sales in retail. We also have some pending deals with Walmart. And these retail stores are starving for products that are selling really well. They're starving for products that have a proven track record, like Amazon.com. They're craving to partner with businesses where they're not doing them a favor, but they're actually making money by putting the product in there. So if you've got a following, if you've got a proven concept with reviews, if you've got an audience that you can send into the stores, now you're an asset to the retail stores. So if you can make them money, they'll feature you in stores. That is the fast lane to getting into retail. So many people are doing this wrong. They're doing it all wrong. And what they're doing is they're putting up e-commerce stores. They're trying to go into retail, but they're not leveraging what they've already built. The plan for success here is start on Amazon, maximize Amazon, and then use that as your pivot point to get into retail, to sell on your own store, to sell through cold advertising, to sell on email, to build up your own audience, to build up a blog, to build up a following of people who follow you wherever you're putting content, you're communicating with your customers. That's the formula here. Now, I can help you with this. If anyone would like help building your own audience or partnering with other audience or boosting profit margins, getting into retail, and having a more secure, profitable, and valuable business, I can help. Here's how. We're doing a class called the Breakthrough Business Bootcamp. We put together a class of our most successful students. They've come in and helped us. So like, I'm not an expert in all of these things. I'm in some of them, but we brought in people whose expertise are in each one of these areas and can show you how to utilize it to build or grow the business that you've got in place or you're looking to build. So if you want to build one around any of these channels, you need an audience in order to launch new products to, so you can charge higher prices, so you can be independent of Amazon, so you can solidify your place in the marketplace, so you can increase your market share, and you can bully all these pesky competitors out of the way. Now, this class is created by our most successful students. It's going to help you turn your sales into customers that buy from you long term. It's going to help you turn them into raving fans and get them to buy from you over and over and over again. It's also going to help you build or grow your business way faster by leveraging all of these outside audiences, whether they're your audiences or somebody else's audience. Now, in my experience, I found that if you partner with other audiences, your audience grows faster. It's like if somebody mails their list for you, you're going to get some of that, right? It's not just a one-off promotion. Long term, it's going to help you too. So this is going to help you do both of those. So this always comes up. We'll just get this out of the way now. Any guesses for charging for the Breakthrough Business Bootcamp? $0.00. So I'm not in the business of selling information. I don't want to be in the business of selling information. I'm in the business of creating experiences and partnerships and relationships for entrepreneurs. That's what I'm in the business of doing. I think this world needs more entrepreneurs. I think we change the world by creating more entrepreneurs. I think when you are successful, you rely on government less, you can create more jobs. So I have this group, it's called The Tribe, and it's a mentoring group where we create those experiences and we create those relationships. It's called The Tribe. Some of you may have heard about it. We've got about 600 people in the tribe. And we've been mentoring them for the last 2.5 years, and we've created many, many millionaires out of that group. So our catch, our hook, and we get asked every day, how can I join the tribe? And it hasn't been open over a year. And we're opening it publicly along with this training course, the Breakthrough Business Bootcamp class. So we are opening the tribe for the first time in a year. And when you become a member of the tribe, and the tribe is our mentoring group where we create experiences and relationships for entrepreneurs, you get this class that we've been putting together for the last 6 months for free. Why? Because our goal is to up-level the caliber and quality of people that are in our tribe. So we want to invest in our community, in our tribe members, to make it the highest level group possible, because the most deal flow comes out of that. The best partnerships, the best relationships come out of that. So here's what the tribe is. The tribe is our incubator, and it's our network for building and growing businesses for both maximum profitability and maximum valuation for when you sell your business. We've got people in the tribe who buy businesses. We've got people who do the different areas that we talk about in the Breakthrough Business Bootcamp class. And it's our incubator for putting everybody together so that you're learning from everyone. I'm not in the business of selling information. I'm in the business of making connections and experiences for entrepreneurs. That's what I'm in the business of doing. I like to say, if you've ever met a person that completely changed your life or your direction of your business, you know that it's the people you meet, not necessarily the tactics you learn, that really create a difference in the business that you build. So our tribe exists to facilitate as many of those connections as possible, of people who really change the direction of your business. We've had many, many millionaires come out of the tribe in the last 2 years. We've never done a course. It's always been a Facebook group and a few Google Hangouts where we just get together and chat. And now we're putting training in there to up-level our group, to create more connections and more deal flow. And we've got this course that's really the best areas that each of our most successful students focus in, so that you can follow in their footsteps. So here's why we do this. I think the world just needs entrepreneurs. And I think it's the responsibility of every entrepreneur to maximize the growth of their business, to hire more people, to serve as many customers as possible, to create the best products possible. And the fastest way to do that, up-level the people you hang out with, up-level the network that you hang out with. That's what the tribe is. The tribe is your network for up-leveling your business. Now, we talked about this guy earlier, Mr. Robert Herjavec. You remember what show he's on? He's on Shark Tank. Well, our vision is kind of to build a tank of people where all of the biggest deal flow can happen instantaneously. So we bring in business builders, people who are building and growing a business. We bring in investors. That's our already successful members who are like, I just want to invest in businesses and help them grow because that's where I get my greatest ROI. We bring them in, and then we bring in people who've got audiences, people with email lists, people with YouTube followings, and we bake them all together and we say, what happens when all of these people come together? What happens is, as a community, we invest in, incubate, and create experiences and bigger breakthrough businesses for everybody. If you're successful and you want more deal flow, you're going to have people going through our methodology and building breakthrough businesses that you can then come in and fund and have potentially a bigger return than what you're going to get investing in something else. If you're a business builder and you want to come in and just focus on building your idea, you'll be around investors, you'll be around audiences, so that everyone can focus on where they want to focus. And we're building these incredible businesses as a community. That's what the tribe is. So here's what's inside. We're just building this network that allows people to interact with one another, partner with one another, hold each other accountable. It is ready to go, but it's in beta. So we're doing this kind of as like our private door. Those who follow me and the podcast and my methodology, who want to get into the beta group at its lowest price and want to help us build out this network. We also do a yearly networking event here in Austin, Texas, and we do regular local chapters. So we've got a group that meets in Toronto. There's a group that meets in Miami. There's a group that meets in Denver. There's a group that meets in Israel. I think there's one in California somewhere. And we're building out those chapters. So if there's a group of tribe members around your area, we help you create a local chapter so that you're getting together and working through our methodology and building breakthrough businesses together. If you don't have a community locally, then we work on creating a virtual chapter for you to get together. The Breakthrough Business Bootcamp, the training that'll show you how to do everything that we've covered throughout this class. We do regular training classes and coaching with some of our members or myself or one of our staff members. And then we have this thing called the incubator. The incubator is basically, you need an introduction to an investor, we go out and help you find them within the tribe. If you need somebody who has expertise in something, we've got the network that can help you bring that. If you've got an idea, but you don't have the money or the expertise to get that to market, we try to help you partner with people who have that, so we can just start creating these relationships with one another within our tribe. So we get the investor partners. If you just want to have more deal flow, that's in the tribe. If you want to partner with investors, that's in the tribe. If you want to see acquisition partners, meaning people who want to buy your business, those guys are in the tribe. If you want to find people who can market your products because they either have an agency or because they've got an audience, those relationships can be made in the tribe. That's what we do. This is a dinner of one of our tribe members. This is Chelsea. This is her husband, Ari. They just moved to Austin. This is Catherine. She does some sourcing over in China. This is Kat. These are some of our tribe members getting together. This is Sean. I think he sells backpacks and actually does really, really well. And this is one of our group of people who went to a conference together. Who do we have here? There's Brian here. This is Elliot. Brian's just exploded in the last year. This is Gunn. He just started a few months ago, but has really started to grow here. This is Ivy. She's really, really adorable. So our group gets together whenever there's a high concentration of tribe members. This is Ralph. He has just had an amazing year where he just saw some of our YouTube videos and started building his business, and then he joined the tribe and tripled very quickly. This is yours truly. Look at that handsome guy. And Madhavi here has 2 kids and is basically building her business so she can better support her kids and spend more time with her kids. These guys they're nuts. This is Jeremy. He and I actually met in Bangkok, Thailand, and now he and his partner Kevin have a business that basically their market is families, and their products, basically promote healthy families. And they came in and were doing, I don't think they were doing $0 when they joined, and then pretty quickly they were doing maybe 40 or 50,000 a month, and they just crossed into the multi-millions here in 2015, and they're at our mastermind now. They have just exploded here in the last year or so because of who they've been around and the stuff that they have learned. Sometimes we do funny things, like on my birthday. My birthday is October 3rd. They know that my favorite drink is Guinness, so a bunch of them got together and had a Guinness in my honor and posted it on the Facebook group inside of the tribe. So we're a pretty tight-knit community. and we work with one another on businesses. We work together to go through our curriculum. We are constantly focused on building breakthrough businesses for the maximum output, whether that be customer served, employees hired, or money made, partnerships made, personal growth. That's what the tribe exists to do. Now, there's one other opportunity I want to run through with you. This is something we've just started to build out inside of our tribe. But we have a group of extremely successful sellers, right? So that gives us some negotiating power. That basically gives us the ability to do some pretty cool things. This guy on our screen right here, his name's Riley. We actually have a podcast going live here pretty soon. Riley is our retail buddy. This is such a goofy picture, but it's the only one I had of him. Riley is our retail rep, and Riley and I and a couple other people, we have been working on building an in with Walmart and some other retail partners. So we've basically created a pathway to get into some retail stores, and we're starting to build that out. What we need is products that we can sell through these retail channels. So products that sell well online so that we can bring them into stores, products with lots of reviews, products that are really good or different. And because of the opportunities that we have within the tribe, we're able to leverage that relationship and basically have a fast lane into retail stores, which allows us to get our tribe's products featured around the country. Can you imagine what's going to happen to our group when that exists? We're going to create so much unforeseen growth that the rest of the entrepreneurial world is not going to see coming, because we're able to leverage the power that we have as a group within the tribe. Those are the kinds of opportunities that I focus on bringing to our community so that we can all up level. Now, I want to give a tip of the cap to those of you who are just starting out. If you made it here and you're like, well, this is all awesome, but like I've heard about this business, but I've never done this business. So we've compiled something that we call Module 0. Now, Module 0 is our starting point. If you're just starting out, some of our successful members have put together a course that will teach you how to start this from the ground up. Source products, select products, choose your market, get your products listed and selling, and then all the strategies that have taken our students to $100,000 a month and up. So that's what we consider Module 0. If you're not doing $100,000 a month yet in sales, then we've got training that's made to teach you the same strategies that helped some of our students get to that point. And then we can add in all of this other nice stuff. But until you're at that point, you just need to go through this piece, build that up over a few months, and then you'll be in a position to leverage all of the extra nice stuff that'll build from that $100,000 a month point. But you'll still have the retail in. You'll still have access to all the partners and marketing partners, so you can get this going faster. So if you're like, I don't have money for inventory, we can find partners that will invest in your business. So you'll still have access to all of those pieces. And you'll have the highest level of support from us to help you get to where you want. Sound good, guys? And gals? So here's what it looks like. Our price options. I think that you're going to find this is probably the cheapest mastermind ever. Our price options are $19.97 for 6 months or $34.97 per year. We don't do any other payment options, and the reason for that is because the value grows exponentially as you build more and more relationships. So we don't want people coming in for a month or 2 months. This is by relationships in there when you have, when you're working with our team or you're meeting other people, that's where you really start to have exponential value. So we don't do like the whole, you go through a course and you're going to have this result. The value and the transformation comes from the experiences and the connections that you make. And our training helps you up-level your thinking so that you can be the most successful member of the group that you can be. So our value doesn't come on like you pay by month. We do, you're in for 6 months or you're in for a year. And you get everything when you join. There's no like tiered access. You can join for 6 months or you can join for a year. So here's your link. We're at freedomfastlane.com/join. Oh shoot, I forgot to put something in here. That's we're still in beta, so we might have some bumps and bruises along the way as we release this network. So we're actually limiting it to 200 new people to help us come in and test out this beta, the beta network for the next month or so until we make sure that we can give them the best attention possible. So we're limiting this to 200 people. And I have a fast action bonus for you for those of you who join on this class. We have a class that we did, a 4-part class for people who wanted to build bigger businesses, and we call it the Big Idea Blueprint. And it was a class that we did for some of our Freedom Fastlane Live students. And this was a short course that we developed around the idea of building disruption companies. And it's something that we did to get your products and services distributed quickly, to get them out into the marketplace, and to build bigger companies or breakthrough companies. And if you join by the end of this webinar, you get that Big Idea Blueprint course for free inside of the tribe. So the tribe operates with this methodology, and it's the methodology that it's your responsibility to have the biggest business possible and to be the best entrepreneur that you can be. 3 years ago, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm a huge Cleveland Indians fan, if you didn't know that about me. 3 years ago, I moved away from my hometown because I didn't feel like I had a tribe there. And I started the tribe around that time. And I really did it because I wanted to have my tribe of people that supported each other and that built and incubated businesses together. So I'm tribe leader, but I learned just as much from our community as they probably learned from me. I'm part of the community. So since we started our group, I've been surrounding myself with millionaires and billionaires to discover what they do differently. And the tribe is what I wish I had back then. It's this group of people that is there to build one another's businesses, along with the training to help you build the type of company that you want and up-level your brain and your mindset so that you think bigger and you build a bigger company. So here's a link. It's freedomfastlane.com/join. And again, this is limited to the first 200 people that join because we're kind of just testing out our network so that we can really invest into the people who are joining until we get kind of our systems in place. So if you're looking to build your business, start your business, to move away from being stuck in Amazon, being stuck trying to compete with everybody else, and you want the fast lane into retail towards building audiences, to building your own audience, this is the route to get there. freedomfastlane.com/join. Now, I wanted to do a whole bunch of Q&A. I had planned on staying here till like midnight and hanging out with you guys, but with our technical difficulties and us doing it here on Google Hangout, I know we sadly don't have the ability to do that. So I just want to recap some major points while you guys are heading over here. So again, the link is freedomfastlane.com/join. And let me recap some of our major points or some of the major opportunities that are inside. First of all, let's talk about what makes our retail opportunity really, really viable. If you've got a product that is selling well on Amazon, and if you use kind of our methodology, the methodology that we have for building and growing businesses, and you get good reviews, and you are taking regular sales, and you're able to prove that you're a better product than your competitors, then we basically just take the success you're having on Amazon and we marry that to the opportunity that we're able to create as a community with Walmart and these other retailers. So you can just focus on your business, and we're out there trying to create as many opportunities for our tribe members as possible. Like, that's what I consider my job inside of the tribe. My job is to open up new opportunities. My job is to go out and seek new partnerships and relationships so that it creates new opportunities and growth for those who are in our tribe. I wanted to go through the 3 types of people that we're going to have in our group here. We're bringing in business builders, investors, and audiences. So we want to bring in entrepreneurs who have a vision for companies and products that they want to build and focus just on that. And we give them the training to be able to do that, and partner with investors who just want to have deal flow. They have cash that they want to invest. And we want to partner that with audiences, people who have so here's it'll be like a case study. Imagine you've got a fitness product, or you have a business where you want to sell fitness products. And you're like, you know what would make this grow a whole lot faster? If I could just partner with that guy on YouTube who has 100,000 subscribers. Gee, that would be nice. Well, what if we could find that for you? And we could help you get that deal. And you're like, oh, that's cool, but now I don't have the money for inventory to sell to these 100,000 people. Okay, well, what if we could partner you with an investor who did put up the money? So now the investor's like, sweet, I got a deal with this business that's about to blow up. And the audience, the guy who has the audience is like, awesome. I have a new product to promote to my audience, and I'm going to make some money from promoting it. They're going to pay me to promote it. And then you are like, oh my goodness, what the hell just happened in my business? Like, I have investors investing in it, and I have these people on YouTube promoting it. I'm taking all these sales on Amazon. That's what happens when they all get baked together. So there's some people who are in our tribe because they just want the deal flow as an investor, and we help facilitate those relationships. That's the power of being in the tribe. So imagine you can partner all of that together, and then we open up a retail opportunity for you. That's why we call this an incubator, because we can take an idea from inception, get it moving, and then get it into something like retail. And all of a sudden, this product just explodes into the marketplace. I want to talk about some of the channels and recap this. And by the way, the link here, freedomfastlane.com/join to get into the tribe. I wanted to go through the various audiences that you can leverage, either on your own or using some of our help. Here we go. So let's start at the top here. Some of the ways you can really blow up your business is by leveraging your own customer base. And by that, I mean taking sales, turning them into customers, and that means getting them onto a list. That means getting them to follow you on social media. Taking the customers that someplace like Amazon sends you, and getting them to be involved in some other channel, email, social media. Right now, most Amazon sellers don't have the ability to hit a button and to get in front of a whole bunch of their customers. They don't have that ability because they're just taking sales. They're not building customers. If you build a process for turning your sales into customers, you make more money. We look at social media. We look at building out a social media presence so that we can click a button and send people to a Amazon listing, to a website. And by combining them together, we take more sales. We have retail, which we've talked about. Kickstarter, I sigh because so few people see this as a legitimate thing, and it so is, because it is a way to get your product and service on the map. My buddy JLD had no business. Like he's not a journaling expert. He just had an audience, and he built this fantastic journal. And by doing so, he put it on Kickstarter, and now he's going to get all kinds of fresh blood. Email marketing, when we do it in the style that George does, where he goes out and he finds these email lists, sends those email lists to his products. Imagine what happens when you do that to an Amazon listing. Whew. Super powerful. Using YouTube, there are hundreds and hundreds of people like Mimi who have large followings on YouTube, but they don't know how to monetize their following. If you get in front of them and you rent their audience, you advertise with them and send them over to your products, really special things happen. Same thing with blogs. Go to the people who have blogs, who have eyeballs there, who are able to put up a blog post and send a whole bunch of traffic to you. That can really put a business on the map. That's really advertising 101, leveraging these audiences. So whether you join us in the tribe or not, here are some things that you can use right now to build your business. The link to join is freedomfastlane.com/join. And we have our tribe director. Her name is Marusha Murphy. She's inside the tribe. She's in there to help you facilitate relationships, to get you plugged into the group, to help you get the maximum result. We have a person fully dedicated to our tribe members' success. You know, some people that bring you into a continuity program and you're kind of on your own. We have a person dedicated to you inside of the tribe, and she's awesome. She's my right-hand woman. So when you go to freedomfastlane.com/join, she's there to help you get plugged into that group so you can get value out of the group right away. Thank you for sticking with me tonight. There's still several hundred of you on tonight. I want to apologize for the technical difficulties. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope to see you inside of the tribe. Usually our technical stuff works a little better than this, but we look forward to having you inside of the tribe. The link to join is freedomfastlane.com/join. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on Facebook or at support@freedomfastlane.com, and we'll see you inside of the tribe. Just so you know, this isn't false scarcity. We are limiting to 200 people. So I'll just put this up here. Limit 200 new people through this webinar. So this is the limit on new people. Speaking of Marusha, she just texted me and said, what's the status of existing tribe members? So we've had people who were in kind of just the Facebook group before we had this network. If you're watching this and you are a tribe member and you've been in our Facebook group, you've gone through our training before. So this is a new network that we're building on top of it. So the Facebook group stays the same. You keep access to the Facebook group forever. None of our trainings go away, but the incubator, the Walmart opportunities, the network, the training, that requires you to join the new network. So you would join through the same link at freedomfastlane.com/join. You'd have a bit of a leg up because you're already plugged into the community. And that when you upgrade to the network, you get access to our in-person meetings and the training and everything else that those who are in the network will get. If you want, some tribe members are like, hey, I got lots of value out of the 2.5 years I was here. I don't feel the need for additional training, and they just stick around in the Facebook group, and that's cool. But most people see that there's a whole lot of value in upgrading and up-leveling their training and getting in person with everybody who's involved in the tribe. Thank you for texting me, Marcia. All right, guys, so I am going to wrap this up. Once again, we're limited to 200 new people, and we're just kind of looking for our core group to build the rest of the platform and the network around. And we hope that too. So the link is freedomfastlane.com/join, and we will see you guys in the tribe. Have a good night, guys. Oh, and now I'm here.